We have actor and comedian Rob Schneider. He has a brand new Fox Nation special called Woke Up in America. Watch this.
Everybody knows what a woman is. Everybody. A woman is someone who gets mad at you for something you did 3 years ago.
That's true. I was grasping for a definition. Now I have it. Rob Schneider's here. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
You're pumped on this special, right?
Yes, I'm excited. You know, I'm very grateful that I was able to get out what I, wanted to get out. And it's for jokes. It's jokes. I'm trying to, so.
It's half therapy, half humor.
Yeah, half therapy for me.
This is good for you.
Yeah. The audience is just pumped. We shot it in Florida, and they were just jacked up to see it, and it was a good time. Nice to be in New York, by the way. I'll tell you, grocery shopping in New York City is a little different. You have to say, excuse me, can I get one of the clerks to unlock the bananas? I got to get a banana.
You're not kidding.
So true.
I wish you were exaggerating.
Yeah, I tried to get eye drops. They said, can I get my eye drops? They said, yeah, it's behind the counter. Did they figure out how to make, crack out of eye drops? Somebody,
Oh, it's called shoplifting. No one's paying anymore.
Is it harder to write a joke now in this climate, or is it easier because you have so much material?
With all the bananas left?
Well, I do think it's different. You have to kind of get to it in a more gentle way. But I do think, because you get people jacked up, what is a woman? And then you just get to jokes, It's like about a woman, and I say, it's a woman who's someone who uses her tires as curb feelers, And I say, because my wife, and I actually hit the curb way more than my wife does,
Good.
We could have spent a little bit extra to get that. Yeah, we could have spent a little bit extra to get that. The thing where the car tells you where you go. It's like, I don't need that. And next thing you know, all the tires are all scratched up on
You
the
have no walls.
To Ainsley's point, though, Rob, I've spoken to various comedians. Is it harder to write a joke in today's environment? The thing about it is, though, there's a huge market opportunity for somebody with courage and not fear when going about writing a joke.
Yes.
My question would be...
It's stupid.
And you've
it's a lot easier to just go for the liberal thing, and just because there's more money in it.
Right.
There's not one conservative, supermodel. You don't have that. But you're right, though. I do think the really good comedians, the ones that I really respect, would go against the grain, and go against wherever the power is and wherever the power is being abused. It's interesting. I'm sure that if George Carlin was alive, they would say he's a right winger. He's this guy's.
Right.
It's just making for whatever authority is being abusive. You have to go after the power centers.
I think. Sorry to interrupt you. I think we have a clip. We have a few.
Another
one?
Special.
For how did this work out?
This one is a joke you tell about masks.
Okay.
I knew this country was in trouble when I went to a bank, and the guard at the bank was like, "Excuse me, sir, you're in a bank. You have to wear a mask." The last 100 years, you wore a mask in a bank. You were the bad guy. All right, here you go. All right, get let's go. This was going to be a deposit. Now it's a robbery.
I've become a prop comic at the end of my career.
Because the pandemic put you over the edge, right? I mean, all logic just left.
It did, and it was really tough because you saw people that you really respected and just went all in on this, and it just didn't make sense. I knew that the police, God bless them, they do a really good job and they do the best they can. But at some point they have to say no. But when they arrested the guy out by himself in the middle of the ocean, paddleboarding by himself, I went no, you get this.
I got to find the stage. You said to yourself, I got to start talking about this.
And people did really appreciate it. I found any place that I could perform anywhere. Sometimes it'd have to be a half club because they said, they have to have a separation, one empty seat and everything. But I said, I'm just going to keep performing. I'm not going to stop.
Did you lose friends over your decision to talk flagrantly about how you feel about politics?
Yes. But I think you just get a little numbed with your friends do. But the friends I've had have been around for 30 years. They know me. I was just as nuts 30 years ago.
Right. You're just talking about it more.
Yeah. But I do think, though, that people have come around. And I think that, the values of American, what have made this country great is to continue to your freedom for your kids. That's the most important thing, is the things that enabled me to have a career were the things I'd like to continue to have for your kids. And it's important to speak up because when they can silence dissenters, that's when real authoritarianism takes in. And that's what I think's happening.
Really quick, Rob, before we go, I've talked to a lot of guys in sports who've spoken out, and behind the scenes, a lot of teammates may agree with them. They just choose not to speak out. Do you think, is it similar?
It doesn't help. Let me tell you, like the pitcher who came out and just said what he thought about one of the stores, so to speak, and then he apologized. He says, hey. Yeah. There is no forgiveness from the liberal intelligentsia. You don't get it. Right. Like once you say something, so don't bother. Just stick to your guns.
But do
just,
a lot of your friends, do a lot of comedians agree with you behind the scenes?
I think so. Yeah, for sure. At the end of the day, you have to go where the jokes are, and you have to go make fun of the people who deserve to be mocked. And I think the authoritarianism, especially coming from the liberal intelligentsia, deserves to be mocked, and it's easy to do.
Can you promise me one thing? You'll never target Ainsley. Would you promise me that?
Absolutely.
All right, that's all I ask.
But it's a lot of fun.
I don't give you much material, but this guy.
Brian's a load full.
Listen, you're gonna.
Still can't believe what you said about what you said about Brian Beckham. That was Brian Beckham, David Beckham. Listen to me. This is awful.
It was a joke.
Terrible.
It was a joke, and people thought he was serious.
But people do take you seriously. Like the thing I say about Florida, it's like I'm seeing it this morning. It's like it's a joke. People did move from New York to Florida. It's a joke. I'm making fun of them.
And now you're making news. When you used to make them laugh, and you do that on Rob Schneider, woke WOKE, Up in America. On Fox Nation now, a safe space for comedians like you.
Yeah,
it was a quick turnaround.
Right.
Yeah, it was quick. I'm glad, and thank you for letting me on here and talk about it. It's a fun show. Hope people have a good laugh.
Yeah, Will did not want you on, and I just trumped him. I said,
I lose like always.
Yeah, as usual. But I'll see you on radio.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Glad that Brian spelled woke. That was a joke. Like the fact that he knew David Beckham speaks English.
We all thought that, but it's a little bit of a problem.
It's a bit different. It does sound better though when you talk like that, doesn't it?
That's not how David
It's so
Beckham
smart.
talks.
All right, thanks, Rob.
Messi comes to Florida, and then he says, I wish he learned the language, because David Beckham, he finally came around. When he came here, he finally learned the language.
That's a solid joke.
It was an awesome joke. Right?
Solid
I
joke.
thought it was okay.
You got to wink to the
Everyone took it
camera.
serious.
You got to wink next time. Go, it's a joke.
We don't have time to wink. We're moving on.